Okay, perfect. So firstly, welcome to a fantastic and stupendous nutrition webinar with Miles and Milesfit. Obviously, I'm Miles Pro. You guys know who I am. The topic today is nutrition, and specifically nutrition as it relates to our amazing online community at the 28dayonlinechallenge.com. Got a bunch of questions from you guys. Like I said before jumping into the meat and potatoes, so to speak, of that, I'm just going to go over some overarching concepts, things that are really important to grasp and understand with the general theme of the nutrition that we're doing. So the first thing I wanted to address right out of the gate, carbohydrates, right? Seems to be a popular topic. Pretty much everything that tastes good is carbs plus fat. So good for our taste buds, unfortunately not so good for our waistline. And there's a reason for that. When we eat carbohydrates, there's a hormone called insulin, which I'm sure you all have heard of, that spikes. Basically, it's like a storage hormone. It puts things in the filing cabinet. The thing is, when the filing cabinet storage hormone is high, and you also have a lot of fat in its presence, for example, like with a croissant, which tastes so great, but this is how it goes. When insulin is high and fat is also high, it's a recipe for disaster. So things like pizza, burgers, croissants, all the desserts we love, these are unfortunately this fat and carbohydrate combo. Having said that, if you guys know me and you followed my work, I'm all about everything in moderation. So nothing is technically bad. It's just how much are you consuming and how often are you consuming it? But carbs inevitably come into the conversation when it comes to getting in shape, toning up, losing weight, etc. So carbs are not the devil. They're not something we have to fear, but we have to be aware of the implication of carbohydrates as they relate to weight management and getting in shape. So generally speaking, when I'm working with people and we're working on nutrition, like what you guys have seen with the nutrition protocol, limiting carbs as a general rule is a good idea. Not eliminating them completely forever, but just limiting them for a little bit. Why? When you limit carbohydrates and you bring your carbohydrates down, you actually resensitize insulin receptor sites in your cells. That's a fancy way of saying that it basically gives your cells a break from having to deal with carbohydrates all the time, and your cells get better at dealing with carbohydrates in the future. So I often recommend for clients sometimes a 7 or 14-day break from carbohydrates, which allows your cells to just take a break, relax a little bit, not have to deal so much with secreting insulin and managing carbohydrates, which makes you a little bit better at ingesting and digesting carbohydrates in the future. So that's kind of the logic there. For most people, cutting out all carbohydrates completely, so all fruits, all starchy carbs, and all of that stuff for a prolonged period of time is not a good idea. And here's why. The body runs on carbohydrates. Your primary fuel source is carbohydrates. So if you deprive yourself for a prolonged period of time from carbohydrates, you will encounter problems, especially if you're an individual who has an active and healthy lifestyle. The more active you are, as a general rule, the more carbohydrates you will need over time. And also, the more fit you get and the more you lose, and the more you positively shift your body composition, the more carbohydrates you'll need as well to fuel your energetic lifestyle. So I always tell people carbohydrates are a function of how fit you are and how active you are. That's kind of a general barometer there of how to ingest carbohydrates.